Sanchez, you son of a bitch!
Need some people for a thing, Glar.
My name's Clear these days. I play piano.
Hey, Glear, play your piano.
I quit. Ugh. And the name's Glar.
There's a magic in the early morning we found, when the sunrise smiles on everything around. It's a portrait of the happiness that we feel and always will. The wait is enough to fill our lives with love.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of What the Hell Happened to Them? Dwayne The Rock Johnson saga marches forward. I am your host, Patrick Skeyhill, and joining me this week is a man who is not my real dad, Joe Vekeman.
Well, I got something to tell you.
Uh-oh. Do we need Maury Povich for this?
Yes. It's time.
Man.
It's time to reveal the father.
Joining us on the audio boards is Lev Van Rensselaer, minding those knobs and dials, keeping the sound so slippery smooth. And our sponsor this week is Hungry Hungry Hippos, a new self-help book to curb your overeating habits. All right, Joe, what is our movie this week?
The Fate of the Furious.
Yes, Fate spelled with an F and then an 8, so that you also knew it was the 8th movie. Because they've worked so hard before to make sure we knew which order to go in.
You know, it's technically not the 8th movie, though, is it? Or is it? No, it is.
It is, yeah.
It is now the 8th movie.
Yeah.
But before, 5 and 6 aren't really the right. I'm not going to go into this right now.
Yeah. I got you, Joe. It's okay. They confuse me a lot, too. Well, Joe, tell us what happens in The Fate of the Furious.
When a mysterious woman, when lots of mysterious ladies, what's her name? Charlize Theron. She comes in, seduces Dominic Toretto into a world of terrorism because they're going to turn Dom bad. Dom's going to break bad, but although he does break bad a lot already and betray all of his closest friends, the crew faces trials that will test them as never before. Yada, yada, yada. I don't know about you, but this is where I want to fall off a cliff watching this movie. I'm just like, the whole thing loses all its charm for me. Right at the beginning. You can tell Paul Walker's not here. And it's like there's a gaping hole in this movie because he's not there to fill it. And I always had a problem with this movie.
Okay.
What about you?
Having only seen half of these movies now, and not these sort of early Paul Walker establishing ones, I didn't care if he was there or not, because most of these people don't feel like people anyway until you get to the smaller roles. So like Paul Walker was like generic dad guy, wasn't here, and I was like, okay, that's fine. And don't worry, the movie's still about family because they won't effing shut up about it. And then they give Vin Diesel actual family anyway. Charlize,
but you never,
So I don't have the emotional attachment that you do, Joe. So this movie's actually fine to me. Doesn't feel different than the other ones. I actually might like it a little more because I like this conceit of, we've topped ourselves so much. There's not really much we can throw at this crew anymore and have it be believably threatening. But what if Vin Diesel himself was the threat? That's an interesting idea. That's a log line where I go like, all right, tell me more.
Yeah, execute it better next time.
Yeah, well,
which I think they're going to next time.
Oh, good Lord, no.
Well, next time, I'm excited about the next one because the premise is even better.
No, tell me the premise, Joe. I want to go in not knowing.
Well, you have to watch it on your own because The Rock isn't in the next one.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then, tell it away. I'm not going to watch.
Fuck you.
Tell me away.
So the next one is it introduces a new baddie.
A new baddie? They didn't kill off this baddie.
Yeah, well, she's helping out the new baddie.
Oh, okay. They set her up to be the big baddie because she was helping out the last two baddies.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they were like, what do we do with her? Let's not put her behind any car, even though she was the super badass in Mad Max Fury Road. Let's just leave her in a plane.
She got a plane. It's a better car. It's bigger. It flies.
How is that that's not a car. It's
better than a car. What? She can fucking do whatever she wants up there.
No. Next time on the Fast and Furious, when I actually want to dip back in, they reveal Dom's got a long lost brother.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh yes. But but they don't tell you that he's his long lost brother until like after you already know who it is.
And his long lost brother is the bad guy. You don't know.
No, vamp for me. I'm gonna set you up with a good music cue. Ready?
Okay.
You vamp. Talk about the movie a little bit. Talk about what you didn't like. What you like.
Yeah. So this movie also didn't have a preview like the other one. Is this just like they don't like the? Like when they came back and decided to reboot the franchise with 4 through 7, where they're like, all right, we have a plan. And now they're just like, shit, we don't have a plan, but these movies are still doing well. Let's just make it up as we go. And that's why Vin Diesel has to have a secret son that you think that woman's character that I liked from the last 2 movies might have brought up at some point. And I was sad when they killed her off because she was my favorite character. But you know what? Nobody dies in these movies for long, so I bet she'll be back. I didn't see her die. She's probably okay. So hopefully she comes back in like Fast 10 or Fast 11.
Didn't they shoot her right in the chest?
No, you don't know. Like
No?
they pull a gun out at her, and then we just watch Vin Diesel and Charlize Theron react to the sound. But I don't even think there's a sound of a body falling to the ground. So if I'm watching a car explode with both lady from Lost and guy from Tokyo Drift, and they're both alive, she can probably survive somehow. But I think they wanted to, at least for now, get rid of her so they don't have to deal with any. If there's anything Hollywood hates, I'm glad that this movie's very on board with sort of strong female leads and people of color. But what they definitely super duper love to keep on extolling to us is the nuclear family. And so there was no way they were going to be like, what do we do if Vin Diesel's married to this one woman but also has a baby with another woman? They're just like, all right, we'll kill off the other woman. Boom, nuclear family. Problem solved. No moral messiness. Not in my America. Thanks, Hollywood, you assholes. All right, Joe, what do you got?
Vin Diesel's long lost brother will be played none other than by...
Who's this?
You don't know the theme song to John Cena's music?
Oh, no, Joe. How would I know that?
Because he's a famous movie star now.
So in all his movies, this theme music gets played?
No, but he was a meme for a while.
I don't know what goes on in memes that aren't
You
classically
send me memes
based.
now.
I sent you
meme boys.
classical memes.
Yeah.
So I can teach you about the ancient world.
Them. Yeah, John Cena will be playing.
John Cena is
Vin Diesel's long lost brother.
Very white John Cena, Vin Diesel's long lost brother.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Fine.
No.
Okay.
It looks like John Cena plays like another like kind of crazy. I don't know. He looks like a terrorist. they get him all in like fancy gear.
But don't worry, he'll be a good guy by the end of the movie, and then they'll all have to turn against Charlize Theron for the 11th movie. Yes.
No.
What? Every bad guy in these movies has gone on to become a good guy. Jason Statham became a good guy, and they had to work really hard in the third act to get us on board with it. With this baby stuff.
Yeah, baby stuff.
Where I have to, for 5 minutes at a time, I have to watch Jason Statham talk to a baby in daddy baby voice.
Well, don't worry, you won't have to see that. No, wait, scratch that. You won't have to see that if you were still going to go see Fast 9, but you're not going to see that. But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Since the pandemic threw back Fast and Furious a whole year, let me tell you guys, you still have time to go back and edit the ending. I'm telling you, have John Cena shoot The Rock in the head, shoot Vin Diesel in the head, and take this franchise over. He can do both. He can do the Hobbs and Shaw movie with Jason Statham, and he can take Fast and Furious over. That'd be great.
The Rock doesn't need to be shot because he's off now in his own franchise.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want John Cena to take over his franchise too.
Oh, you want John Cena to have...
I just want John Cena to do everything now. Okay. Because he's proven to me that he's funny.
So the Fast and the Furious movies aren't funny enough for you? You want more funny?
Yeah, I definitely need more funny.
Okay.
And he's got the great brand of cheese that will actually like really work on me. Also, our friend Rona suggested that John Cena should do an Ernest movie since John Cena seems to be morphing into Ernest, but like jacked Ernest. So it's like my pitch was like Ernest goes to the gym. You know how like in the Captain America movie where Steve Rogers is like in the first one he's like a little skinny guy, but then he gets like the super soldier serum. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that's how you do it. You do the tiny little like man body on John Cena with the big John Cena head, and then he's like going to the gym, and then he turns into John Cena, and it's John Cena goes to the gym and he has wacky adventures. It's like Ernest, but now he's John Cena, and it'll just be Ernest is like the same age because that's how he was. I mean, he was old.
I had like 4 weddings all kind of back to back right before I moved across the country. At one of them, one of the groomsmen with me was very, very adamant. They were like, hey, how's the movie making thing going? And I go, oh, that's all right. And they go, you should make an earnest movie. And I went, what? They go, yeah, you got to bring that back. And I go, I don't know if anyone's asking for that. I don't know if that. No, the world needs more earnest, Patrick. So, there is an audience out there for it, I guess. At least one guy.
All right, let's dive into this plot. I don't have too long.
Yes. Oh, yes. The plot, the very important plot. So I guess first, as a person who didn't watch the first 4 movies, is Charlize Theron somebody we should know?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
She's new.
They kind of set her up to be like that. And then like the people who like get revealed to have like rescued Jason Statham after he was quote unquote shot, are they somebody I should be knowing? Because they take off their mask and do like a little reveal. I'm like, do I know these people?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I don't know why they spent time doing that. Okay, fine. Charlize Theron for me is an actress that when I think of her in my head, I only think of 2 things. I either conjure up an image of Uma Thurman, so I have a hard time actually recognizing Charlize Theron, or I only recognize Charlize Theron as like a serial killer. Like those are the 2 looks of Charlize Theron I have in my head.
So you think of her as Monster or Uma Thurman?
It's either Monster or Uma Thurman is the only image that comes to my head.
All right. That's just complete. That's I don't like that. That's not nice.
I just don't know how does she look visually different from Uma Thurman? Yeah, you don't have a good answer there, do you?
Thurman.
Yeah.
Because I always confused Uma Thurman with Toni Collette because I like Toni Collette better.
Toni Collette, I think, looks like a little older, but she's not like trying to be forever young like I think Charlize Theron and Uma Thurman are. So like Toni Collette, I can pick out of a crowd. Okay. Yeah, so that's my thought there. So...
What do you think of Helen Mirren just showing up as Jason Statham's mom?
I mean, yeah, as soon as Vin Diesel goes and talks to... Yeah, as soon as Vin Diesel goes and talks to old British lady, I go, okay, so he's going to do some kind of plot with Jason Statham, and then Jason Statham gets shot, and I go like, okay, well, he's going to be rescued somehow. But I don't know how Vin Diesel's like hooking up these meetings when he's under constant surveillance by a hacker lady that can actually hack people very well. So that's, and then he has to not only communicate with her, he has to communicate with whoever these 2 guys are that are taking Jason Statham into an ambulance, but also some guy he raced at the beginning of the movie to kind of come as a delivery man. But this heist is getting a little out of hand here.
This movie falls apart really fast. Right? The zombie cars coming out of the garage and all being like remotely controlled.
Yeah, like that is, well, to me, Joe, that is no more ridiculous than everything we've already seen.
Well, I enjoyed
I'm
that.
already at the same level. With The Rock is kicking a torpedo, I say fine.
Yeah.
You've set up this universe, so like I can't be mad at it now. I've already signed on board.
I don't know. I just really hope that John Cena really fills the void that Paul Walker. I'm sorry, but like...
I don't know what void is there. It's like, okay, you replace one generic dude with another generic dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
I think you said you already watched the first Fast and the Furious, like a long time
I think I watched that when
about
it came
20 years
out.
ago
Yeah.
at this point. Mm-hmm. So I believe it's on HBO Max.
Okay.
Just turn it on. You can put it on in the background. I'm not saying to watch the whole thing.
Not give it my full attention.
Just like have it on so you can be like, okay,
yeah,
this get a little more familiar, and then like I don't know. Maybe you come back when on Hobbs and Shaw. We can talk about this a little bit more.
Okay.
Even though I completely despise that movie. I don't know. I think maybe this movie was like these movies were just like Paul Walker vehicles for me. And I'm like, everyone loves Vin Diesel. And I'm just like, I'm a Paul Walker guy. That's what I really felt like after watching this. Because I was trying to get my friends to go see this with me when I was all excited. I was like, Furious 7. That was my favorite movie because it was just like a beautiful send off for like, he never really meant that much to me until after the movie, I guess. Because I was just like, yeah. And like I still don't watch his other movies, but like that one, it really hits me. All the emotional beats just hit me so well, and I can't tell you why. Yeah, because I watched this one. I was like, oh, am I done with these? Am I just done with these now? Yeah. And then I watched Hobbs and Shaw. I'm like, Rock, yeah, he's fine. I'll go see a Rock spin-off movie. I don't know. I need my Polly.
Yeah, it felt like there was a lot of backdoor piloting for that movie in this movie, where we spend like an aggressive amount of time with The Rock early on. And his daughter. Does The Rock only have one daughter? Why did I think he had twins? Is that a different movie?
Definitely a different movie. He's only got the one little girl.
What is the movie where The Rock is with some guy? I thought it was Paul Walker, but what is the movie where The Rock is with some guy and they're like playing video games or something, but he's got like kids in the background?
We've seen so many dumb... It's definitely wow. I can't believe this came back to me so fast.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe Retaliation when he's playing Channing Tatum.
Oh, okay. You noticing how it's different, how I keep getting The Rock's characters confused with each other, right?
Yeah, they definitely were the backdoor pilot with as you know, we should just definitely talk about it. It's been talked to death, but like The Rock and Vin Diesel don't get along.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel didn't want The Rock in the movie. The Rock wanted more screen time, so they just were like, "Well, you're a big enough star. Let's spin you off with Jason Statham." So they took Jason Statham out of the next and the Rock and Jason Statham out of the next Fast and Furious to give them their own spin-off. So
yeah, is Jason, and they really force it in there because Jason Statham now magically at a less secure prison in this movie for no reason.
Less secure.
Yeah, he was like hundreds of feet underground before, by himself in a cell at the end of a long hallway with just pure armed guards just for himself. And here he's just like in a block with 30 other dudes.
That doesn't make any sense. He was trying to kill them all the entire last movie. Yeah,
and exactly. So essentially, like, they lose Vin Diesel, and Kurt Russell's like, all right, you're going to get this guy. And I'm like, are you just trying to fulfill your, like bald, pale-looking quota? Like, is that you wanted a skinny Vin Diesel to make the crew feel whole? But, like, he's just got a grudge against Charlize Theron, I guess.
Yeah. Do you think they were like, he doesn't need to be in a more secure prison because we buried him under an entire garage the last time we saw him?
And he was fine. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Joe. Whatever. They just needed to get him out with The Rock, believably. So Kurt Russell's there with this other new guy.
Oh yeah, it's Clint Eastwood's son, Scott Eastwood.
Really?
Yep.
How old is this guy? Because he looks. I would have if you said Clint Eastwood's ... I would say grandson. Because this guy looks like 30, and Clint Eastwood's got to be 90. I hope.
I thought it was his son. He's 34.
Yeah.
His parent is Clint Eastwood.
So Clint Eastwood was like 60, and he's like, all right, I want to do another kid.
No, he was probably like in his 50s.
How old is Clint Eastwood now? Yeah.
How old do you think Clint
Eastwood he is 90. I think he is 90.
Fuck, he's 90. So what?
So he was 56, and he's like...
56, yeah, okay, so he was in his 50s.
I got one more in me. And then, boom, he's got this. Okay, that's fine.
Better question. What movie was Clint Eastwood making at 56?
Is it Unforgiven?
Oh, God damn. Hold on. I'll figure this. I'll do the math. You keep talking about this.
Yeah, so, and so he's in there to be like little version of Kurt Russell. I'm like, oh, are they planning to kill Kurt Russell off here? And like now, and then I guess Eastwood Jr. gets to be our crossover. But then Kurt Russell was fine, and I'm just like, well, did they only have Kurt Russell for a number of days, or did Kurt Russell not want to do action scenes? Like, what's going on here?
He was supposed to be like the fill-in for Paul Walker on this one. They were trying to like,
was
have
he?
him going to the crew.
You can understand why I missed that.
Fucking not. No.
I mean, he shows up like 40 minutes into the movie anyway. It's also annoying where like at the beginning, at the soccer game, the guy's like, okay, Rock, if this goes south, you're going to go to jail and there's nothing we can do about it. There's not one thing we can do about it. And then it goes south. He gets arrested. Immediately, there is one thing they can do about it.
Oh, so perfect.
What?
Okay, so Clint Eastwood was at the time of the birth of his son, Scott Eastwood. He was making Heartbreak Ridge.
Oh, okay.
The story centers on, I've never seen this movie. The story centers on a U.S. Marine nearing retirement who gets a platoon of undisciplined Marines into shape. He's nearing retirement. Time to have a kid.
I know. He can see Social Security on the horizon, but he's like, nah, I think I got one more in the chamber. He just didn't want to wear a condom that night, and he's thinking to himself, like, I know what you're thinking. Do I got one bullet left in here? Did I fire 5 sperm or 6 sperm? Well, I don't know, but I'm feeling pretty lucky. And then he wasn't, and now he got a son.
That's a good Eastwood.
Yeah. Yeah, Jason Statham goes in, rescues the baby. They can suddenly fly. They have, like, weird wing jetpacks and stuff. I mean, perhaps some people could look at this movie as over the top. I'm of the camp of if it was over the top before was fine, you can't arbitrarily draw a line. You're either in or you're out.
I'm in, but I just don't like the cast.
You don't like the
cast doesn't work for me anymore.
It's getting reshaped, and it's going to be all right. In Fast 9, yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. I'm holding out hope for John Cena to take this away from me.
Just real quick before we wrap up, Joe, do you want to get into Young Rock real quick?
Oh, hell yeah.
What the Rock is cooking. Istanbul was Constantinople, now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople, been a long time gone.
What happened in this episode?
So in this episode, So last week we talked about, I'd worried that if they had to contrive storylines that fit through all three timelines, that might run into trouble. Immediately, they sort of, overthrow that to me, and we just focus on the middle timeline, his high school years.
Yes, I was telling you about this. I loved it. His mole mustache works so good.
So now I look back at the pilot and go like, okay, well, this sort of makes sense then, because if you have a show that's going to do three different timelines, but rarely at the same time, it makes sense you would want to start with all three, so that we know what to expect going forward.
Exactly.
It's also a great way to get around certain child labor laws and things like that. But I do hope that every now and then, for important stories, they do kind of go back to these multi-theme things. But I like that the show isn't hamstrung to be, and it can kind of jump around to whatever stories are freshly on top of the Rock's head. And I've been getting a lot of questions, including from you, about the set changing for the interviews. Sets and pilots are usually, because pilots are kind of done on spec, so to speak, you don't know if they're going to get picked up. They're usually done at physical locations. You don't build sets for them. Notably, the community set was an actual school building in California. And then when the pilot got picked up, they had to recreate that set with blueprints that the school provided them. So there is a chance that after they did their testing for the pilot, they didn't like what that set looked like, or they couldn't get access to it again, or it wasn't worth reconstructing, and they already had that set. But I also think, based on how the episode begins, that we might be getting different sets depending on what jokes they want to kind of land. So like this one begins with like The Rock getting a library dedicated to him at his old school. And so I think this set's supposed to be in that library. And maybe we're just in the Dwayne Johnson library the rest of the series. It's fine, whatever. But I'm not surprised that we didn't keep it the same location. That's a very common thing. I've even seen some pilots replace characters or the actors of characters, or just cut out characters and make them leave. And then there's like a half-handed note of like, where's cousin so-and-so? And they're like, oh, he went off and joined a cult, and like he's gone.
I do like how, for one thing, I am so glad The Rock changed his outfit. I'm glad they were able to oh, here's a different interview, because that blue outfit, that blue suit was not working for me last week. I don't know why he insists on wearing turtlenecks. He's got a great neck. Stop behind the neck. Randall Park. Just great. I love the little like tidbits he throws in there.
Yeah, Randall Park stealing every scene that he's in.
Yeah,
we actually got less of him this time because we weren't jumping timelines, but I almost think like maybe we want like less can be more with Randall Park. We don't want to overdo it. So I think that's good. The Rock with his turtlenecks, I think he's like trying to help him look older or feel older. I think I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's trying to act older with some of his kind of like really dialed back low-key responses. Otherwise, the thought is like he's just not engaged and he doesn't care that he's there, which I don't believe because this is a show based on his life.
Yeah, exactly. One quick thing about the turtlenecks things, because he continues to do it. And in the promo for his new Netflix movie coming out this summer, Red Notice, with Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot, he insisted on wearing this tan fucking jacket and this fucking tan turtleneck.
Yeah.
If I find the picture, I'll send it to you. And who let him wear this? If he was in a tan wall, he would blend in. You would see just Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot. It'd be like, where's The Rock?
I think The Rock's at a point where you can't tell him what to wear anymore. If he wants it, he gets it.
Well, I mean, just throw some different shades on there and don't wear turtlenecks. You got a beautiful neck, man. Don't hide it. Let me just tell you really quick the box office for this fucking movie and why there's going to be 3 more movies.
Okay.
Yeah, Fate of the Furious, $250 million budget.
Yeah, I believe that.
What do you think of that? That makes sense.
That's what I was expecting.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Lots of cars.
It's amazing how many global crises can be solved with cars. I'm very impressed with every movie. They always solve it with cars.
Absolutely. You can't deny that. Box office, $1.236 billion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's why they're making more.
Hold on. I just wanted to double check with the last Fast and Furious. Did that one make more or did this one? What do you think?
I think probably this one made more.
All right, do your last looks while I look this up.
So last looks for me. It makes sense The Rock would do this movie. One, he's part of a franchise. Two, he's now second build because Paul Walker has left. And of course, they're spinning him off. And then you kind of be like, hey, we're going to give you your own spin-off movie. And then you don't have to deal with this guy anymore. And also, we've written this movie in a way where you're barely in any scenes with him at all.
Yeah.
And they kill off his partner in this movie, and The Rock has no moment where he's like, that's sad. My partner's dead. That doesn't happen once.
Do you think Vin Diesel has so much stroke in these movies now that he's just like, Rock, I let you into my franchise, and you know what? I want to make you the most unsympathetic bastard in the entire movie. Is that when you go do your stupid side movie, everyone's gonna be like, oh, The Rock. Let Jason Statham take it over.
No, I don't think so. I just think like that's how poorly this franchise doesn't know what to do with that character since the 5th movie happened.
Absolutely.
So like they just like it was just over. Like the writer thought like, oh, we don't need that scene because that character's inconsequential.
Furious 7 made more money. Made 1.56 billion.
Okay.
That's Paul Walker not being there though.
Yeah.
That dip.
It just feels weird. Like if you already watched 7, I don't know why you wouldn't watch 8. It just seems odd to me.
Because people were like, I want Paul Walker.
All right. Well, thanks to Joy for joining me out. We have to scoot a little early this week. Sorry, but hopefully that gives you more time to watch more Rock movies. What's next week, Joe?
Next week is Baywatch.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you all for listening. Thanks, Joe, for joining. Thanks, Lev, for helping out on the audio boards. I am your host, Patrick Scale. You can find my features, documentaries, short films, video essays, behind-the-scenes footage, animations, and so much more at QuixoticUnited.com and social media, presumably with a similar sounding name. Thank you all for listening. Joe, say goodnight.
Good night.
What are you talking about, Joe?
Don't fuck with me. I'm ready to press some green buttons at work and tell people that they're on this machine or not.
Okay. Well, that
Nice.
sounds nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it weird that should we find any coincidence or I don't know. I don't know how to phrase this. Do you think there's a reason that 3 people from Twin Peaks happen to be in RoboCop?
Hold on. I can do this. So it's obviously oh God, what's his fucking name? I can do this.
Okay.
So there's the detective from the FBI. There's so many bald people in RoboCop.
Who was the detective from the FBI in RoboCop?
No, not the detective from. No, I'm talking about Twin Peaks.
Yeah. You're right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Can't think of his name. God damn it! Don't tell me though. I'll figure it out by the end.
Yeah.
By the end of this podcast, I will have his name.
Okay.
I'm not going to look it up because fuck IMDb.
Okay.
Are there some like day players in it or something? Am I not thinking of?
Yeah. So Ray.
Peter Weller's not in it. I know that.
No, Ray
Nancy
Wise.
Allen,
Ray Wise is in Twin Peaks. You may remember.
Oh God damn it! Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy who like runs the boardroom,
Miguel Ferrer. There you go.
Yeah, Albert's in it, and the guy who like owns the company that both those guys want to be his number 2. He's like the business lady's brother that was thought to be dead but isn't.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. See, I haven't watched the original series.
Yeah. But I'm just wondering, is it like did David Lynch?
Like, yeah.
David Lynch watched RoboCop and was like, I love all these guys.
Kind of weird that he was like, fuck Red Foreman though, because Red Foreman's the standout of that movie for me.
Yeah, Red Foreman would, I don't know, like his acting style in there would probably fit well would fit well into Twin Peaks, the ABC series. Right? It does seem, I don't know, like maybe he was just a big fan of RoboCop, or these were actors just moving around a lot. But yeah. I guess if they were doing TV movies and then had to go to TV, maybe that means the 4 years in between didn't go very well.
I just got really freaked out because I was like, oh my God, it's Jim Belushi in RoboCop.
No, all 87 to 91, that all those actors were in that original run. I imagine the boss guy died in between, but they didn't really do much with that storyline in season 3 anyway, so.
Yeah.
Just focusing on seasons 1 through 2 here.
I want to rewatch all of Twin Peaks. It's so good. I've been putting that off for too long.
It's very good. I just watched the movie again last night.
Oh,
so great.
Do you remember when Laura Palmer is in the car with her dad, and then that person just comes up to them and starts yelling at them?
Yeah,
like
one-armed man.
Like indecipherable.
Yeah, like there's I don't know, there's 3 or 4 segments in that movie where they turn up the noise so much they don't want you to hear it. And it reminds me a lot of Godard did that in a scene in Weekend, where he had the music kind of go up so we couldn't hear it, but you lose the effect because of the subtitles in English.
Oh, yeah.
But but Godard didn't want you to hear what was being said then, so like, I don't know, like it was, the music would kind of go up and then go down, so you'd miss just parts of the conversation.
Yeah, he's like, I only want French people to watch the movie.
Yeah, it was the 60s. I wonder how big global distribution was then, but David Lynch actually doesn't put subtitles on a lot of his movies.
That
option isn't here, which is unfortunate for our hard of hearing friends. But notably, the club scene, he does put subtitles. He does want you to hear what happens there, but doesn't want you to hear what happens in the car. There's also a segment like in the train as the murder's about to happen, where Lynch doesn't want you to hear what they're kind of screaming to each other, or like to have to work hard to figure it out. It's just sort of an interesting style to approach that gets sort of a more emotional honesty, even if it's not kind of the quote unquote physical replication of the world we're in. But I think that's a sort of a losing proposition in most movies anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad you're on my side there, Joe.
I am on your side.
All right. Yeah, most people are not. That's okay. All right, Joe, you wanna go on in here, right? You don't have much time.
I don't, but let's knock this.
Let's do it.
Fate out.